Hey guys, WeTMTG here, and today I've got my first ever deck tech. I thought I might as well get this out before my beloved deck rotates out in October. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the cards in order. We'll go creatures, sorceries, instants, then lands. I'll tell you how many of each there is in the deck and what the purpose for them is. So the deck I play is red-green aggro. And yeah, to start off we have 4 copies of Arbor Elf. This guy is just nice to play on turn 1. Obviously he's a mana dog. It lets you play your creatures quicker, which is the main aim of this deck, is to get your creatures down quick, get damage in quick. So we've got 4 Arbor Elves. Put them there. And very similar with the next 4, we have 4 Avacyn's Pilgrims. These another 1/1 for 1 green. You tap to add planes to your mana pool. Obviously this isn't as good as the Arbor Elf because that lets you untap a forest. Obviously green in this deck. This one provides you with white mana, but this is just a nice little extra boost if for the generic mana in the bigger creatures. So we got 4 Avacyn's Pilgrims. The next 4 cards is kind of like a signature card for my deck because I seem to pull these a lot and get to play them a lot, and they are pesky. And that is 4 copies of Strangleroot Geist. It's a 2/1 for 2 green with haste and undying. Undying, when this creature dies for the first time, it gives you a 1/1 counter on it, so it become a 3/2. So basically, for me, I want this creature to die once. I want him to block it. Maybe I'll take a creature with it. This creature dies, he comes back stronger, so that's basically what I'm looking to do. Get one of the mana dorks down turn 1, get this guy down turn 2, and then build from there. So 4 Strangleroot Geists. Next up we have 4 copies of Borderland Ranger. This is a 2/2 for 2 generic and 1 green. When Borderland Ranger enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. So this is another one. This helps with the middle of the deck a little bit because I think this is my only 3-drop that I have in the deck, so it gives me something to do on turn 3. And it gives me mana if I'm stalling a little bit. That's the beauty of this deck. I can win games with 3-4 mana on the board. I can win games with just that on the board. So, yep, 4 copies of Borderland Ranger. Very useful card in this deck. Kind of holds it together. Then I have 2 copies of Hellrider, who is a 3/3 for 2 generic, 2 red. Has haste, and whenever a creature you control attacks, Hellrider deals 1 damage to defending player. Absolutely love this card. It just, as soon as it comes down against lesser experienced players, they just panic. They think, oh god, we've got to get rid of this. One, he can attack straight off the bat, and if he gets through, he's basically dealing 4 damage because of the 1 from himself attacking. And when even if you've got the Arbor Elves, the Avacyn's Pilgrims, and so on, you can just attack with them, and they're dealing 1 damage anyway, just for the sake of attacking if you don't need them for their mana source anymore. So this is a very good card. I'm probably looking to put 1 more of these in the deck. So we got 2 Hellriders. Then we have 2 copies of Huntmaster of the Fells. Again, I'd like to probably add another one of these to the deck and sub out something else, but this is a 2/2 for 2 generic, 1 green and 1 red. And whenever he enters the battlefield, whenever he enters the battlefield or transforms back into Huntmaster of the Fells, you put a 2/2 green wolf creature onto the battlefield, token onto the battlefield, and you gain 2 life, which is brilliant. And then he also flips into a 4/4 with trample, and it deals 2 damage to target player and target creature. So this guy is very flexible, lots of different angles to him that can hurt your opponent. So again, very, very good card. Next card I'm sure everyone's going to recognise. Thragtusk, aka Swagtusk. We've got 3 copies of him. I'm probably looking to get another one of this guy, but obviously I can't keep jamming all these high cost creatures in, have 4 copies of each, because then it would just get a bit mental. So anyway, this guy is a 5/3 for 4 generic 1 green. When into the battlefield you gain 5 life. When he leaves the battlefield you put a 3/3 beast creature token onto the battlefield. So basically you're getting a 2 for 1. You're not too scared of blocking with this guy against their tougher creatures, because you're going to take one of their tougher creatures and this guy's going to leave behind 3/3 beast token, which isn't bad either. So this card, I would say, is played in 9 out of 10 cards that play green in their deck. He's just an insane card. So we got 3 of those. Next up we have 2 copies of Wolfir Silverheart, who is a 4/4 for 3 generic 2 green. He has Soul Bond. As long as Wolfir Silverheart is paired with another creature, each of those creatures gets +4/+4. I love this card in combination with any of my bigger creatures. Even with the small creatures, he could pair it with an Arbor Elf and Avacyn's Pilgrim, and he turns them into a 5/5, which is just yeah, it's like an elf on roids. So, but with the next cards is what I particularly like to pair this to. So this guy's good. It's good on his own 4/4, but then when he adds the +4/+4 to himself and another creature, it just becomes a bit of a tank. So we've got 2 of those, 2 Wolfir Silverheart. Then we have 2 Thundermaw Hellkites. As I'm saying, pair this guy with the Wolfir Silverheart and you've won the game. But if you lay this down, you're winning games most of the time anyway. So he's a 5/5 for 3 generic 2 red, flying, haste, and when Thundermaw Hellkite enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent control. Tap those creatures. So basically it kills flyers with 1 toughness, and if not, it deals 1 damage to target flyers and taps them down, so this guy can attack straight away. Like I said, pair this up with Wolfir Silverheart, it becomes a 9/9 flying haste, which is just beast. This is one I will definitely be adding 1 or 2 more to, and subbing out probably the next card, but for now I've just got the 2. And another card that if people see this come down, then they're not happy. So we got 2 Thundermaw Hellkites. Next card, this is probably one I'll be getting rid of for a Hellkite or a Hellrider, is Zealous Conscripts. He's a she is a 3/3 for 4 generic and 1 red. Haste, and when Zealous Conscripts enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent, it gains haste until end of turn. So basically I just added this in as another win condition. This is kind of late game, I save this back unless unless I desperately need creatures on the field. I'll save this card. If they've got a big creature or a creature with maybe lifelink, exalted, etc., I'll just pinch it with this card and then usually swing in for a win. This card has won me quite a few games over the period that I've been using it, so it's nice. I'll probably drop this into the sideboard for something else. Yeah, so 1 Zealous Conscripts. And last on the kind of creature front, but not, is 2 Garruk Relentless. Obviously he's not a creature, he's a planeswalker, but you see what I'm getting at. He is a 3 loyalty for 3 generic 1 green. When Garrett Relentless has 2 or fewer loyalty counters in transform him, we'll go through the next one in a minute. First ability for 0, Garrett Relentless deals 3 damage to target creature. That creature deals target damage equal to its power to him. And its other one, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. Ideally what I'm looking for with this is to get him flipped, using his first ability to deal 3 damage to something. Usually I kind of link this up with the Strangleroot Geist. I'll target my own Strangleroot Geist, kill it, give it Undying, so the Strangleroot Geist becomes a 3/2. And this guy flips, which we'll show you the reverse side of. He becomes Garruk the Cursed for +1. You can put a 1/1 Black Wolf creature token with Death Touch onto the battlefield, which is nice. Then this is the ability I use, or I'm looking to do most of the time. -1, sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And his final one, -3, creatures you control gain trample and get X +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So basically, at first I'm looking to do his -1, search out for my Hellriders, my Thragtusk, Huntmasters, Hellkites, etc. But yeah, when you've done that, obviously you want to hit his ult, because it's yeah, it's pretty beast, especially on the Hellkites, etc. So yeah, that's the kind of creature planeswalker base. There's 2 Garruks. Now moving on to the sorceries and instants. We have 1 Pillar of Flame. I did have 4 of these, but as I've gradually got better cards, I've replaced it and put these in my sideboard, so we just got 1 of those. I will be getting rid of this for like the aforementioned Hellkites, Hellriders, etc. So we've got 1 of those. Then we have 4 Searing Spear, just which deals 3 damage to target creature or player for 1 generic 1 red at instant speed. Love this card, gets me out of a tricky situation quite often, so we have 4 of those in there just for some decent removal. Then Mizzium Mortar, which deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control for 1 generic 1 red. I like this card, but the only downside is it's to target creature. You can't do it to player, whereas with the Searing Spear you can target player or creature. But then again, if you can overload this, you can just board wipe, swing in with your creatures, and you'll probably win. Got 2 of those. And then finally, for the instants and sorceries, we have 2 Bonfire of the Dam, which deals X damage to target player and each creature he or she controls for X, X, and red. Or if you pull this off the top of your library and don't put it in your hand, you can play its miracle cost, which is X, 1 red. Basically, these are in here for another win condition. I would basically just want to hit this off the top of my deck late game, and then just burn all their creatures and them for a load of damage. So that's why that's in there, just another win condition. And then finally, let's move on to the land base. Not very interesting, but we'll go through it anyway. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be 8. Well, there's usually 8 forests in there. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's that other forest. There's the 8th forest. And 6 mountains. We have 3 Stomping Grounds, which I need to add 1 more of, which give you green or red mana. Then we have 4 Rootbound Crags, which also give you green or red mana. And then we have 2 Kessig Wolf Runs, which you can either tap to add 1 to your mana pool, or pay X, 1 red, 1 green, and tap it. Target creature gets +X, +0, and gains trample until end of turn. One thing I did learn with this is don't trigger the ability before they've declared blockers. I used to do this without thinking about it over and over again, and it ended up costing me a game, and it would have been my first unbeaten 5-0 at a tournament. It would have been my first like unbeaten tournament, but triggering this before they declared blockers lost me the game, because then they chose a different creature. They survived by 1 life, and then they swung in with a fly to kill me. So always trigger the ability after they've declared blockers. I even wrote a note of this and stuck it up on the wall behind my PC screen to remind myself, just so I don't do it again, and I haven't done it again since. So remember to trigger after blockers with this one, and trample over that damage for as much as possible. Okay guys, so right, that's my red-green aggro standard deck tech. What we'll probably do is we'll go through my brother's deck, which is a black-white exalted. I'll do that next week before Dragon's Maze comes out. I'm trying to get through all my Gatecrash stuff before Dragon's Maze, then I'll be putting pre-release videos up, because I'm attending both days, release, etc., booster openings, and we're just going to kind of start fresh from the Dragon's Maze. Okay, so everyone, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. WeTMTG out.